Did you hear that Joe Biden is officially the king of America? Did you know that? Have y'all heard? Oh, you didn't hear that the United States has kings now and queens now? You didn't hear that? We don't have presidents anymore, y'all. We have a king now. We have a king. And for those who don't know what I'm referring to, on July 1st, the Supreme Court of America ruled in Trump versus United States that presidents have immunity while in office for, quote, official acts. Did you hear me? The Supreme Court of America just ruled that presidents in the United States now have immunity for any acts while in office considered official acts. Hey, wow, wowie, wow, wow, wow. Folks, we are in unprecedented times. I feel like, I mean, literally, this whole entire podcast has been me talking about these unprecedented times, starting with the 97 votes it took to get a Speaker of the House in at the beginning of the term last year, starting with the fact that the Speaker of the House was kicked out and then had to be, it's like one thing, starting with the fact that this is the first time a president has ever been charged with a criminal offense and convicted. I mean, unprecedented. Before, prior to this ruling, it was automatically assumed that presidents did not have immunity, okay? We never even had to discuss this. We never even had to talk about this or debate this because we've never gotten to a point where this was an issue before, where this was even a question before of whether, of course, presidents don't have immunity. Of course, presidents aren't above the law. Now, of course, we were pardoning presidents out here, okay, when they were doing criminal acts. Of course, we had a precedent of not actually following through and taking legal action against these presidents who have done illegal things in office. But needless to say, nonetheless, it was still a de facto reality that presidents did not have immunity in this country. And that all changed on July freaking 1st. So for those who don't remember, Donald J. Trump, in one of his criminal trials for overturning the election, his team, his lawyers, they attempted to get the case thrown out by arguing that Donald Trump had immunity for anything that he did as a president, okay? So they attempted to get the case thrown out. The first judges that received the case immediately dismissed it, threw it away. They were like, shut the hell up. No president has immunity. Duh. Get out of our faces. And so as a result of that, what they did is they appealed it, and they appealed it to the Supreme Court. And we talked about this previously on the podcast on whether or not the Supreme Court was even going to take up the case. If they didn't take up the case, that would essentially uphold the previous ruling that presidents don't get immunity. But they decided to take up the case, which was a surprise in and of itself. And not only did they take up the case, but they sat on it, which delayed the case and that has been Trump's strategy here. His legal strategy is not to win. His legal strategy is to delay until he can hopefully get elected and then pardon himself. So they took up the case and they waited until, I think this was one of the last cases that they adjudicated at the end of their term. All right. And in a 6-3, along partisan lines, 6 conservatives, 3 liberal judges, in a 6-3 ruling, they partially ruled in favor of Trump. So they didn't throw out his case. That's what they wanted. They didn't throw out his case. But they did say, and they didn't say that he has complete immunity, but they said that he has immunity for some, quote, official acts. Sorry, not some, for all, quote, official acts. Okay? So now what has to happen is they also added into their ruling that now the judge on this case, on the overturning elections case, Judge Chutkan, she now has to go in and review every freaking aspect of the case to determine what is considered an official act and what is not. And of course, everything that she considers not to be an official act, you know they're going to try to appeal it. Remember, delay is the name of the game. Delay, delay, delay. That is the name of the game. So imagine how much time it's going to take for her to go through all that nonsense to determine what is an official act and what isn't, what is applicable, what can be admitted and what can't. Delay, delay, delay. And also, this trickles out to other cases. In the trial where he was just convicted of a criminal offense with Judge Juan Merchan in New York. In that trial, he was supposed to be sentenced. He was supposed to be getting his sentencing on July 11th. Well, now they have pushed that sentencing back because Judge Merchan in that case, with this new immunity ruling, is going to go back in and review the case and, you know, see what falls under official acts and what doesn't fall under official acts. And that is going to affect how he sentences Trump. And again, that's going to take time. They pushed this ruling back to September, y'all. We were supposed to get a sentence for Donald Trump, his first criminal sentence, in a few days, to be quite honest. Or actually, by the time you guys get this, it'll have already passed. But we're now going to have to wait till September. Delay is the name of the game. And I want you guys to really understand the gravity of this ruling. From this point forward, any president in the future can do crime as long as it's considered an official act. So what does that obviously lend to? Basically, these judges, these conservative ass judges, have set up a situation where all a president has to do is manipulate the circumstances in order to make something an official act. And now they have criminal immunity, y'all. Talk about a slippery slope. Talk about a slippery slope. I want you to close your eyes and imagine. It's 2025 and Donald J. Trump has just been reelected president. What do you think Donald J. Trump would do with this new power? I just want you to imagine, what do you think that person would do knowing that every criminal act that he does would be considered immune? He would have immunity for. Can we say Trump dictatorship? Okay? Can we say Trump dictatorship? Because remember, he told us that he was going to be a dictator on day one. Y'all, if this fool gets reelected with this law on the books, shut it down, lock it up, close the shutters. America is finished. It's over. It's a wrap.